Guys, so we're back with more LeetCode videos. I just finished the 100 days of LeetCode. That was just like my own personal challenge where I basically posted one for 100 days every single day excluding Sundays. So that's done. But I'm still going to be posting videos, LeetCode videos from now and again. And this is one of them. So let's get to it. If you guys enjoyed the 100 days of LeetCode, I appreciate you liking and subscribing. So yeah, I'm going to keep the LeetCode problems coming. All right, let's go. 387, first unique character in a string. So we're given a string S, we want to find the first non-repeating character in it and return its index. If it does not exist, we're going to return -1. So basically, we want to find the first character that only occurs once in the string. So in LeetCode, we actually have L, T, C, D, and O. These are all characters that only occur once in that particular string, but we're going to return the index of the first one. So the first one, of course, is L, so we return 0 because that's the first character in the string. Now, love LeetCode. The first character that doesn't repeat is actually V, so we're going to return the number 2, which is the index of V. It's the character at the second index, or excuse me, the third index. But we use 2, of course, because everything's 0 indexed. Now, example 3, all the characters occur more than once, so we return -1, and that would be this case here if it does not exist. So we're going to solve this one. We're going to use a dictionary in Python. It's a hash map in other languages. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to iterate through basically an enumerated version of this string. Now, what this enumerate function does is it not only gives us the character at whatever index of the string we're at, but it actually gives us an index number. So this is a lot better, and it's more Pythonic in quotes, than using the I in range length of S. And I just prefer it because we can access I easily, and we can access a number very easily, and we don't need to basically index the string at sort of a number to get the character, right? So that's why we're using that. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, if our I, right, because our I is our character, is in the dict, all right, well, that means that that character is not repeating because we've already encountered it before and now we're encountering it again. So what we need to do is we need to set the dict of I to be -1. Okay, this -1 value is going to be used later in the solution to sort of indicate that whatever character in this dictionary that we have is not a candidate for the non-repeating characters, right? Now we now have an else block, and in this else block, right, this would represent basically a character that we're coming across for the first time. We're going to set the value of this key in the dictionary to be our index, okay? So this is going to represent the first, well, I guess the, up to this point, only occurrence of this character, and it's going to be that number's index. Now, we're going to basically use this at the end, right? After I write some little code in the middle here, we're going to use this and find the lowest number, the lowest value in this dictionary that isn't -1. And we're going to do that like so. First, we're going to create a Boolean called empty, and basically this is going to come into play for cases where we output -1. And the reason why I'm using empty is because I'm imagining that the map is empty in cases in which everything's equal to -1, meaning all the characters are used multiple times. So we can think of it as sort of being empty in that there's no set of potential answers. So that's why I'm using empty. You could use another word for that, doesn't matter. It's basically just going to be a Boolean flag. So we can set that equal to true, and we're also going to set a number called min index, and we're going to set that to infinity. The reason why we set this to infinity is because anytime you have a number that's going to represent a minimum value, you want to start it as high as possible because you want it to keep coming down every time we find numbers below that. So that's why we're setting it at infinity, because it's as high as possible. Whenever we find a number below it, we go below, below, and below. Because let's say if we started this at, even 1,000, right? It's possible that because of this length here, we might never get an index that's below 1,000, right? And we don't want that. We want the actual minimum index, even if that index is, for example, 1,001. So anyway, that's why we're setting it to be infinity. And now what we have to do is we have to iterate through the for I in the dict.values. And this is going to give us the values of the dictionary. So essentially all of these indices or all of these -1s. Now what we're going to say is if I is equal to -1, we're going to continue, right? We don't want to deal with -1 entries. The whole point of a -1 entry is that it's not a candidate to be returned, right? So we're going to continue. Now if we get here, that means that we are not continuing. So that means that we have found potential candidate character, right? So we want to switch empty to false because, again, this is going to come into play at the end. If this is true, we're going to return -1. So, of course, if we get through this, it means we have found an index that is not -1. So we're going to set this to false so that we are going to return this min index. And it'll make more sense in a second. So we're here, we've set empty to false, we need to update min index. We can say min index is equal to the min of the previous min index and I. And then here, of course, we have to check whether or not we have sort of a set of potential answers. So we can say if empty, return -1. So if empty has never been updated from this assignment here to it being true, we're going to return -1. If not, we're going to return our min index. And let's see if we've got working code. Let's see. There you go. So that's working code. That's how you solve that one. If you guys like that, please like, subscribe. We'll be back with more LeetCode problems. And, who knows what other stuff I'll be posting. But hopefully it's cool stuff. Hope you guys like it. And, yeah, we'll see you again. Take care.